what did you see your own position vis-a-vis this debate to be? Were you drawn to the position of the critical Buddhist personally? Did you find this salutary, interesting, or did you see yourself more in the position of kind of distanced chroniclers of this debate?
Well, I'm not a Buddhist, so I can't say I was, threatened by what they said. And because I wrote this article with title Zen is not Buddhism, I'm often asked, well, how can you say Zen is not Buddhism? I say, well, that's not really what I think. I think Zen is Buddhism in the sense that Mormons are Christian, but within the tradition, you can make those sort of kind of value judgments, but as an objective scholar, I was stimulated very much by their thinking and admire many of the points they make. It was never a question of do I accept their controversial statements. In that sense, no, I don't. I tried to, when I wrote my article, I tried to explain what Hakamaya and Matsumoto were saying without myself making a personal commitment to it. So,
So I was personally committed to it. It's kind of complicated, but I became interested in Buddhism long time ago, and I come from a very strongly Catholic family, and including an older brother who's a philosophy professor at a Catholic university, and again, back in those days, and my earlier introduction in the 60s, in high school and stuff, was a kind of romantic Orientalist D.T. Suzuki version of Zen, which is ineffable beyond all of these kinds of things. And so when I encountered the Gelug tradition in particular in Dharamsala and spent a year studying there, I was really excited because I can go back and I can tell my brother that Buddhism is really hardcore analytic philosophy, man, and it's more logical than thou. Let me assure you, I'm going to beat your ass in this next debate, the Catholics are going to lose. So I was very excited to discover that Buddhism, that's what attracted me to Buddhism. I thought Buddhism was true. Right now we have the neuroscientists, why Buddhism is true, right? But back then, I thought it was, it made sense to me. It made more sense to me than anything else. I had been an education major and a psychology major and a philosophy major, and this one worked for me. So but I still didn't quite understand the stuff, the Zen stuff and the mystical stuff and all of the stuff that I had seen in Japan. So when I got to Wisconsin and this stuff kind of percolated up, it totally resonated with me because, to my mind also, the idea, the genius of the denial of Atman was the affirmation of this world and our need to practice in this world and to help real living sentient beings who are having real life suffering. And I wanted something that affirmed that. And when I didn't like mystical, ineffable stuff because I guess I want to talk, right? So it didn't make sense to me. And we had a lot of that at Wisconsin, as I was saying earlier, whether it was the cohort of people who were all critical thinking people or the faculty that we had. Stephen Beyer was a brilliant faculty guy, Geshe Sopa. So they all, it went along with me. It resonated with me. So when this thing came along, it resonated with me, as a Buddhist and as an academic. It's a little bit more complicated than that. I'm kind of happy that Japanese Buddhism isn't Buddhism. I like it better that way, but that has nothing to do with Buddha nature.
But what was the influence of Hakamaya on you then?
Well, so this was a little bit before. I want to say that Hakamaya actually got juiced by Paul Griffiths. I think it was Paul Griffiths' critical attitude about stuff that just didn't make sense and he couldn't accept because it was philosophically stupid in his opinion, and he was very sharp about saying that. His break with Geshe Sopa was a big thing, and so I think that Hakamaya was prodded and pushed by Paul Griffith's critical attitude, and then he kind of went over the top on it. Yeah.